Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hot Girls and Hockey Podcast. My name is Sarah. If you're new here, this is the show where we talk about all things hockey, the what to knows, the who knows, and everything in between. And please excuse my voice. I am losing it for some reason. Unknown how, unknown why, might be getting sick. Who knows? But apologies if it sounds weird or off. I kind of sound like a little boy going through puberty, but you know what? We are just rolling with it. If there's a bunch of random cuts, it's just going to be me clearing my throat and cutting out the parts of me clearing my throat. But welcome to the second annual Hot Girls Learn Hockey Stanley Cup playoff bracket episode type thing. A little late because playoffs have been fucking happening for 2 weeks there. It's fine. It's okay. But I have been watching all the games. And it's too close in some cases to really determine for sure who I think is going to go on to the next round. I will say this, been some very entertaining games, been some very just insane playing that I've been seeing. These teams this year, I don't know, does someone put something in their Cheerios and their protein shakes to make them like go on to a new level of playing? But it's been very interesting to watch so far. But yeah, we're gonna go through my bracket that I have. Last season, I guess last playoffs, I made one on the NHL website and just showed it on a little thing on my on the video version of the episode, and I just kind of just said who I thought it was going to come down to. And I was right last year. I did predict that the Panthers would get back-to-back cup wins, and they did. So fingers crossed my intuition is correct for this season as well. But this year I decided to instead utilize my hockey magnets and utilize the whiteboard so that I had more of a bigger visual for my selections, if you may. So this episode will really be super beneficial for anyone who tunes into the video version. So if you're someone who has been an audio only, person so far, maybe take a gander at my YouTube page and watch the video version of this episode. I will be, obviously going through and explaining like what I'm pointing at, which teams I'm talking about, all that good stuff. For people who do not want to watch the video version, but it's always an option, video or audio. I put up the same thing at the same time every upload day. Speaking of upload dates, thank you so much for being so understanding about the delay. Completely spaced out the fact that I had a trip planned during the week that I knew that I'll have to upload, and I just simply did not have enough time to edit and get it up in time. So here's a little couple days late for you, but it's okay. We're here, we're fine, and we're fun, and we're free and fresh. So let's just get into the episode. As always, I do have a fun little drink. I have some rosé because it's a sunny day outside and I wanted a nice cold glass of rosé. And also for my video watchers, yes, I do have a Holland Off shirt on because I just needed to feel something. Because I've been kind of going through it. But yeah, let's get into my playoff predictions and picks and who I think is going to win, even though I've been very vocal about it. And we'll get into today's episode. Cheers. Apologies for my drawing skills. Also, I'm going to try not to get the glare of here, you can kind of see, there's the glare of my tripod and my phone, which I film all my episodes on my phone. I'll try not to get the glare of it, though, in the little thing on the whiteboard, you know what I mean, if I can help it. But these are my picks for the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm going to put a more specific picture right here so that you can see all my hard work and my artistic skill in all its glory. So let's just go through. I have it divided in obviously between the Western Conference and Eastern Conference. We'll go through my Western Conference picks first, and then we'll go through my Eastern Conference right after. So in the Western Conference, the teams that we have for this year are Colorado Avalanche, LA Kings, Dallas Stars, Minnesota Wild, the Vegas Golden Knights, Utah Mammoths, the Edmonton Oilers, and the Anaheim Ducks. And in these first rounds, the matchups are Colorado versus LA, Dallas versus Minnesota, Vegas versus Utah, Edmonton versus Anaheim. So, for my picks in these rounds, between Colorado and LA, I have Colorado coming out victorious. Between Dallas and Minnesota, I actually have Dallas coming out. And not saying that I don't think Quinn Hughes is doing his best. I think he could be doing better to pull the team. And that's all I have to say about that. Between Vegas and Utah, I was very, very shocked, but also I love rooting for an underdog. I was very happy as well that Utah made it to the playoffs. Just because they're a newer franchise. I mean, obviously they were the Phoenix Coyotes. Now they're Utah Mammoth. So there's that whole song and dance. So very proud of them for making him to playoffs this season. Do think that Vegas will blow them out of the water. Would love to see them not. But I can only go based off of what I know at this moment. And what I know at this moment is that Vegas is doing pretty good. So I have Vegas, coming out victorious with that. And then as for Edmonton and Anaheim, I am rooting for the slight underdogs in this case. I think that Anaheim is going to go on to round 2 instead of Edmonton. They, as in like Edmonton Oilers, have so much talent, but they don't know how to utilize it very well, is what I'm kind of been gathering from these past few games that I've been watching. Obviously, they made it to the finals, the last 2, finals. And I just don't see a three-peat for that happening. I'm seeing kind of sloppy playing. They also I feel like they need to get a good goalie. Like they just need a really good goalie. And they haven't really found one that's stuck so far. So who knows? Maybe they could kind of turn things around. But as of right now, I do have Anaheim advancing. So now that leaves us with 4 teams left: Colorado, Dallas, Vegas, and Anaheim. Between Colorado and Dallas, I do have Colorado making it past to the 3rd round. And between Vegas and Anaheim, again, I'm rooting for the underdogs in this case. I do have Anaheim going, which would mean that the 3rd round and who would, be the Western Conference champions, it'd be between Colorado and Anaheim. And like I've been saying, I do foresee a Colorado winning the Western Conference and making it to the finals. So between Colorado and Anaheim, I got Colorado. So now we got our Western Conference locked in. Let's go to the East Coast and we'll see what we have over there. So the teams that made it in the Eastern Conference Stanley Cup playoffs are the Buffalo Sabres, to the shock of everyone. The Boston Bruins, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Montreal Canadiens, the Carolina Hurricanes, the Ottawa Senators, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and also, to the surprise of everyone, the Philadelphia Flyers. Something like, did these teams hire like a witch to like put a hex on other teams? Like, it's just surprising how many underdogs are making it this year. That's all I gotta say. So we have our teams. What are the matchups? The matchups for round 1 are Buffalo versus Boston, Tampa Bay versus Montreal, Carolina versus Ottawa, and then Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia. Now, who do I have in my little board? So between Buffalo and Boston, I'm so sorry, Dad. My dad's a Boston Bruins fan, if you did not know that. I really want to see Buffalo go. I really want to see Buffalo at least just make it past this first round. If they got knocked out in the second, oh well. But I really want to see them make it past the first round, because it's been so many years since they've made playoffs, and it would just be really fun to see. Between Tampa and Montreal, I do see Montreal making it to the second round. Between Carolina and Ottawa, there really is no competition there. It's going to be Carolina. Carolina has been killing it all season, and I don't see them slowing down at all for the Stanley Cup playoffs. They're just going to get even more rowdy, and I love Jarvie and I really want to see him prosper. And that's what I have for Carolina and Ottawa. And then between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, underdogs, Flyers. What the hell? What is going on with you guys? Trevor Zegras, however you say his last name. You keep up what you're doing, because you're doing great. And Flyers, keep up what you're doing, because you're doing great. So now we are left with Buffalo, Montreal, Carolina, and Philadelphia. Now, who do I have going on from these guys? Between Buffalo and Montreal, I do have Montreal going on. Like I know I said that like I wanted to see them make it far in playoffs, them as in Buffalo, but against Montreal, I don't know. I don't personally see that being a matchup that Buffalo will come out on top in. Maybe I'll be wrong, but this is just what I think, is that Montreal will win between those two guys. Between Carolina and Philadelphia, I do foresee Carolina. It's just like I've been saying, they've been killing it. And especially against a team like the Flyers, they'll swoop in, and I think they'll swoop in a straight 4. But who knows? I guess that's another thing I should have been saying, is how many games I think it's going to take. But I don't want to bet on any of those kinds of numbers. I'd rather just say who I think is going to go to the next round. So now we have Carolina and Montreal competing for the Eastern Conference title. And I do have Carolina advancing to the Stanley Cup Finals, which would mean that my prediction for the finals will be Carolina versus Colorado, Canes versus Avs, and I've said it all season, I think Colorado's got it, and I really, really want Colorado to get it. I would be happy if it came down to these two and I was right. I would be happy if either one won. I'd be happy if Carolina won or Colorado, but in my heart of hearts, just think that Colorado just fucking got it. They were dynamite this season. They were so fucking good. Like, I can't even form sentences. That's how much faith I have in this team. But yeah, that is my 2026 Stanley Cup How Girls Learn Hockey bracket. Was very fun putting this together, and I am so excited to continue watching these playoffs games. It is insane how close we are to like the end of hockey for the year, or at least just for like, you know, this 2025-2026 season, because I feel like it literally just started, and now it's April, and we only got 2 more months, maybe, hopefully. And yeah, so I'm very excited. It's my second playoff run to watch, and this year is just something's different in the air. There's something different floating in the air, different vibe, and I'm, like I said, I'm just very excited and very happy to continue seeing if my predictions are correct or if I'm just completely, losing the plot and completely wrong, which I could be. But either way, I'm going to have fun watching the games regardless, and then go into my seasonal summer depression while I wait for hockey to come back and complain about wanting it to be October or September the entire time. But oh well, that's what I did last year, and I don't see it being any different this year. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in today's episode. Next week, or I guess next episode, because obviously it won't be next week, it'll be the week after, we will just do some more catching up with the playoffs and seeing where I landed with all my predictions. I'm keeping this exactly the way it is until I film the next episode, and I'll give a time or date, whatever, of when I'm filming it, because when I film it is going to be obviously different from the date that I actually upload it. So things can definitely change in that time. And I will put, little updates for the video version on the screen of like, this has changed since I filmed it, or so on and so forth. But yeah, if you are watching this on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It does help out a lot. Even the comments that are kind of annoying, they help boost my episodes. So keep them coming. If you're listening to the audio version of this episode, please make sure to give the show a good rating, and you can also leave a comment there if you would like. I love my Spotify listeners. Kisses to you guys. You can also follow the show's Instagram page. It's at Hot Girls Learn Hockey. Or you can also follow the show's TikTok page, which is at HGLH Pod. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.